The COVID-19 crisis had not only amplified long existing challenges, but it had also brought new injuries as SMEs found themselves struggling to claw their way out of the worst economic slump ever. They say desperate times call for desperate measures. To survive, many of our SMEs need to make extreme changes, including a business pivot. Relevant assistance has been provided by the authorities to ease their recovery and restore their faith in business. But the question is, what more can we do, and do it now? So recovery often takes time, and creating a comprehensive, supportive ecosystem takes even longer. But in business, time is money. We understand that urgency. And in this episode, we will explore what else we can do better and faster to enhance our ecosystem for the survival of SMEs. I am Muhammad Mafrukin Mokhtar, and this is The Insights. Let's go! In many countries, small and medium enterprises, SMEs, are the backbone of the economy, not only in terms of numbers, but also their economic contribution. In Malaysia, for example, in 2020, SMEs make up 97.2% of overall business establishments and contributed 38.2% of Malaysia's GDP and 48% of national employment. The SMEs were among the hardest hit groups during the pandemic. For the first time in 17 years, SMEs' GDP registered at negative 7.3% in 2020. In addition to stimulus packages and other short-term economic measures during the pandemic, what more can we do to help small businesses to survive in the endemic phase? Together with us, I very honored to have our Dato' Kun Ling Lung, is a Treasurer General cum Chairman of SMEs Committee at the Associated Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Malaysia, in short as ACCCIM.
Yes.
And he is also a board member cum Chairman of Audit Committee of SME Corporation Malaysia. Welcome.
Yeah,
thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah.
And we also have Dr. Salihatul Huzaimah Muhammad Ali. Dr. Salihatul is the owner of Serveview Veterinary Clinic and Trio Veterinary Clinic. So thank you very much for joining us in the Insights. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Dato', I would like to pose the first question to you. I believe ACCCIM did a survey on SMEs, and what are the key findings and concerns that the challenges faced by SMEs at this juncture?
In fact, we did a lot of this sort of survey, back many years ago. Not only for the big business, SME as well. For this survey, actually we carry out beginning of 2023. We asked the respondents, what affect you in the second half of 2022, and you forecast something in the first half of 2023. There are 5 factors affecting them a lot. The first thing is increase of the prices of the raw material. Now, the second one definitely is the manpower. When they want to get the manpower, seems that the salary keep on increasing. I still cannot get the so-called the manpower or the employee or the workers. The third is the fluctuations of the ringgit. I think these 3 tantamount to the increase of the cost of doing business. I think this is getting worse and worse, affecting our MSME. I think micro that affect not so much, because it's small businesses, micro. I think it's a bigger SME, that those are close to, let's say, 50 million turnover, not more than that, then affect a lot. I think these few factors.
Like hotels, the revenue being disrupted millions.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, and what are the issues and challenges they faced during the pandemic? When it's come to the sustainability, what has been what has been done by those SMEs to survive?
In fact, during the pandemic, actually, we do not know the pandemic is coming, or the SME, pre-pandemic, they are being affected because of the China, US, trade war, all those things. Those days, you still remember in the 2018, 2019, the ringgit is still not that strong, So it turned out because Malaysia is an open economy, a lot of imported raw material will increase the prices, all those things, But when in the pandemic, all the SME will got a shock. Actually, I always mention the pandemic will not kill the business. Actually, what is killing the business is the lockdown. The lockdown. Why? Because the lockdown, because I don't have sales. You cannot come into my shop. I cannot go and buy products from you. That means there is disruptions of the cash flow change. The chain of the cash flow. Don't talk about disruption of the supply chain, but the cash flow. Because if you don't have sales, you will not have a cash flow. Because the expenses is still there. Minimum expenses. Everybody got a sudden shock, during the 18th of March 2020 lockdown. So I think that will tantamount to the issue. But sustainability, the behavior or characteristic of the SME is luckily got the government assistance. Because all the SME, the bigger SME, you have a loan. Either few hundred thousands or 1 million, the loan, you have to repay. You repay by monthly. But during the lockdown, luckily the government have a moratorium. The loan repayment moratorium. For the 6 months, it helps. It helps. So the business of the SME, suddenly they switch to what? They switch to digitalizations, e-commerce. That's why force them. That's why cost them. That's why a lot of SME with the government assistance in this respect that I mentioned just now, and the digitalization and the e-commerce like delivery, all those things, it helps them. It helps them go through this difficult period in order to sustain.
We also can see the consumer behavior shift towards adopting digitalization. People are at home and order food online and whatnot. I think it helps to continue the business operation and help all those SMEs. Okay. Thank you very much, Dato'. A very interesting point that you mentioned about the government's assistance to help the sustainability of the businesses. And we have Dr. Salihatul is entrepreneur herself, and I believe you have experience, managing a business during the pandemic. And maybe the questions, your experience doing business, from establishing a company and growing the company, what are the real challenges that you would like to share with us?
Okay, when we talk about establishing and having a business, it might before the pandemic or during the pandemic, it's not easy because personally, my industry is a veterinary profession. So one thing is that, of course, capital. We have, no matter how small your business is, you have to have some amount, especially when to have at least a basic setup of a clinic, which is the cost of instruments, the cost of drugs. It's not cheap. It's very expensive, especially when it's related to veterinary stuff. Because most of the things that we have to have in our clinic, we don't have it locally. Sometimes we have to get it from overseas, and then the problem with the registration of the product. So that are the things that actually we are facing right now, until now, basically. And then besides that, the nature of our business, we have act under Malaysian Veterinary Council. We have limitation in doing advertisement and also marketing because of its we are categorized under professional bodies, so we cannot actually advertise our business. So it's quite hard. It's quite hard basically because of we're doing business. We still have to.
But you cannot promote.
Yeah, we cannot promote. That's the problem now. And of course, in terms of the professionalism of the staff, we cannot simply, okay, if we have a clinic, we cannot simply hire individuals that don't have the capabilities of treating the animals. So if you have a clinic, you have to have a vet, you have to have a doctor. It's not that you can hire anyone that can do treatments. So sometimes we have a problem with having the resources, especially in the staffing. As you know, like the challenges of us having, like, nowadays we have like the vet clinic is actually growing like mushrooms.
Yeah, yeah.
So we are actually have what we call it as a challenges in getting a good veterinarians nowadays.
Yeah, so your pie has been shared to quite many market players.
Yes.
And the share is getting smaller.
True.
And the quality is also being questioned.
Yeah.
So yeah, that the challenges in your industry. And
Yes.
What do you think about the support system, the ecosystem to support your business grow? Do you see any issues on the ecosystem?
Okay. When we say about the ecosystem, actually it's very related to the clients itself, because that's our target. The awareness of the client, I mean our society regarding the health issues of pets, and sometimes it's related to the public health concern also. It can be seen like improving nowadays, but we still need to create more awareness. So sometimes because of lack of awareness of this kind of issues, they have the tendency to have other alternatives. For example, they probably seeking information or consultation from others in media social, for example. Nowadays, sometimes you just, I have this sick pet, or my cat is having these symptoms, so what can I do? But they are asking in the media social, so probably you can get like answers that is not from the vet itself. So sometimes they have these tips or tips yang pelik-pelik, you know. Sometimes, use these herbs, use this kunyit, lumur.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's quite challenging, because for us, especially the vet, to actually educate the society of the importance of veterinary medical attention, instead of you just home treat your pet.
Indirectly, it will affect your business and
Yeah.
your top line and bottom line,
Yes.
I suppose. And when you talk about the issues of the capital just now, you know, we need to have the capital to start the business. However, with the fund that you know, some business owners, maybe micros or SMEs, when they got funds, sometimes they misuse the fund.
True.
Right. So, do you think there is any issues with, you know, among your peers, business owners, you know, when it's come to financial management, they have lacking on it?
I believe yes. I mean, we've been discussing about among our friends, especially our classmates that also having clinic businesses. So actually, they also have issues with when it comes to hiring staff and then how to pay. But yeah, because the demand is there, but you know, the odd business hour that actually we are implementing, because we are a clinic, so sometimes we have to extend our business time to probably until 8 or 9, because of after 5 basically our clients are quite free, so sometimes we have to cope with that. But you know, the demand of what we call as a work and life balance nowadays, especially demanded by the current generation, because they are looking towards that instead of probably the patient, that kind of things. Sometimes it actually affects us. So sometimes, doctor, can we like go back earlier, because of I want to have my time with my family. So basically that's
also an issue faced by your side. Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. It's very interesting, but maybe let's have a break for a while and we will come back. We'll be right back, and please stay tuned.
Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Insights, brought to you by AKPK Financial Education and Wellbeing Research Center, FEWRC. We're still talking about the issues and challenges faced by the SMEs. Just now we talked about the issues that you mentioned about, the manpower is not sufficient, and the market also have a problem, and it's actually supported by the real experience. By Dr. Salihatul also mentioned that the creation of the number of players in the market also will disrupt, and also the customer behavior who actually change because of the pandemic, and also the enabler during the pandemic that you mentioned about the digitalization as enabler to continue the business. Looking back at the issues, maybe if I want to delve further in terms of what are the driving factors that lead to those challenges,
Yeah, in fact, those challenges, as I mentioned, during the survey, we pick it up as the outcomes, the challenges, But what are the driving factors that means lead to all these things? We have to go back to the pre-pandemic. Let's say pre-pandemic, 2018, 2019, as I mentioned, there are some fluctuations of the ringgit. Actually, the ringgit is not to say fluctuation a lot. It is a very weak ringgit, So the prices of raw material, the prices of the machinery equipments that increase, But when it comes to pandemic, definitely is a major factor, cause all these challenges. Because businesses, you must have one thing, very, very important, that is the cash flow. If there's no cash flow, I think the businesses is difficult to sustain, because what is that? Is to for the expenses. Secondly, the business must sustain. It must have what? The sales. That means the sales, the services rendered, I must have the demand. If you don't have a demand, during the pandemic, there's no demand in such. That's why this one is a driving and the leading factor into it. But lately, when we see, I thought it's a post-pandemic, that one should be okay. But you come to Credit Suisse, the bank problems, then everybody predict, hey, what happened now? Is it 2023? Is it post-pandemic? We'll have another set of problems, So everybody will set back. I don't want to spend much, So last year, 2022, we have a revenge buying, a revenge purchasing. A lot of people got a lot of money they're going to buy, because lockdown, you don't spend. But 2023, everybody, if you stop for a while, the business will be affected. That's why now you look at the flight company, the airline, they start to come back. Also difficult to come back. Why difficult to come back? It's not short of the airplane. It's short of the manpower. Stewardess cannot be overnight. You just get them to come back. Why? Because most of the employee in the market of the SME during the pandemic, because there's no business, all being laid off. Where did they go? They go as a delivery. They go as their own business. Then they go and do just now mentioned social media. They go and do the cake and sell from house, from home, all those homemade. But they are doing pretty well as a small micro business. So they would not like to come back to employment where it's a fixed hour, because the new generations, I don't want to work fixed hours. When I want to relax, I relax. When I want to work more at night, I work at night. So I think this one is a leading factors from the pre-pandemic to the pandemic to the now the post-pandemic. We are having these issues, and then the foreign labor as well. You see, and so we stuck. Because during the pandemic, I think I reckon it's about 1.5 to 2 millions of foreign labor, because they got no job. They gone back to their home countries, But you cannot get them back in just one day, or 1 week or 1 month, So we are facing all these problems, with the government policy, how to get them back, So I think this one is some way, is a factor, make our SME stuck somewhere.
The sustainability got issues on that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, some discussions also mentioned about those who been retrenched during the pandemic. They already have their own small business. Maybe one of the business is a veterinary business, grooming all the pets and whatnot. And maybe they also don't want to take risks, right? So if they come back and suddenly the market being disrupted again, and they have to make another choice. So yeah, I mean that will be the driving factors of those towards the sustainabilities of the SMEs. And I would like to move to Dr. Saliatul, on quoting back on the challenges you mentioned. How those challenges provide impact to your business? Maybe you would like to share your how that is it that bad, or how it was how affected your cash flow, for example, and your business.
Okay. I mean, okay. During probably I can relate to the situation, especially during the pandemic. It's quite hard for us in the initial point where most of the businesses cannot operate. But we are lucky because when we fight, under DBS, we are fighting for our business to be as part of the essential services. Yeah. So from that point, actually, we are, it seems like during the pandemic, actually, we're doing quite well. Okay. One, probably it's because of the clients are, probably the owners, actually, they have more time at home. And they actually focus on their pets more. So they discover, oh, my pet is sick. So every time sick, calling the doctor or asking to make appointments. Compared to the pre-pandemic situation where actually they're probably quite busy with work, they have not focusing on their pets. So that's how actually we can say, oh, okay. And then due to the lockdown and the people sometimes have like this depression thing, so they opt for having pets at home. So before that, they don't have pets, and now they have pets. And when they have pets, sometimes their pets also get sick during the pandemic. So that's how actually it contributes to the sales actually during the pandemic time. But actually, we what we can see is that it affected us based on, basically when they have pets, they tend to request for discounts, that kind of thing, because I understand. I mean, most of us understand that due to the current situation, most of the pet owners actually not working. So sometimes we have this kind of empathy. See, oh no, I understand you don't have work right now, so okay lah, we can give discounts. But then it continues. Sometimes, oh doctor, previous months you give us discount, probably I can get more discounts today. So that kind of issue sometimes we are dealing with like almost daily, and in a good way, because of like just now we said that we have challenges with growing of multiple veterinary clinics nowadays. Actually, we have a good networking. So sometimes the nearby clinics, we need some staff that we don't have right now. Sometimes we just call, oh doctor, do you have this? Probably I can borrow from you some, so that once our stock arrive, I can ganti lah for you. So basically, good connection. It improves our networking actually in how actually we're trying to sustain our business.
All right, very interesting. You're sharing your real experience where we can see some, on the ground issues and scenarios and case where we can relate to the survival ability of the SMEs. And okay, let's have a break for a while, and please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Insights brought to you by AKPK Financial Education and Wellbeing Research Center, FEWRC. There is a very good and interesting discussion where we can listen to the real experience, and we can listen to from the authorities' points of views on what is actually happening on the SMEs. We have discussed those challenges, Dato'.
Yeah.
So what's the moving forward?
I think the moving forward definitely from the business themselves, they have to know how to manage their finance, manage their factors of productions, But I think for the government side, I think we have to concentrate, as I always mention, 4M. The first M is the money, the capital,
The first M is money.
It's money, capital. The capital, I think from the government side, that means the authority, a lot of bank negara, a lot of fund, a lot of non-financial institutions also have a SME fund. We call it soft loan, from the SME Corp, also got this so-called the business accelerator program, all those things. But from the business point of view, they must have the financial literacy. They must know how to go about it, how to manage the finance. If they face problems about repayment, all those things, we know the repayment assistance has been over the period. They can seek for the bank itself, and then comes to AKPK itself, to seek for the advisory on all those things. I think all the businesses should not wait until the real problem comes. I think this is the way forward. The second M to me is a manpower. The manpower, as we discussed just now, they must be able to know how to manage. When you talk about manage a manpower, actually it's a very difficult to manage because the new generations, all those things, That's why we have to do one thing is third M. That is the machinery. Machinery we talk about nowadays is a technology. How to adopt the technology, because the government have a lot of assistances, a lot of fund, a lot of measures to help you. Even though the government like MTech, they all have a 5,000 last time, have 5,000 grant for you to point of sale systems, your ERP system, all those things, in order to make you in the e-commerce. This is the third M. The technology is very crucial. I think the way forward, the fourth M is marketing and management. That's why nowadays Malaysia, as one of this region, Southeast Asia, we join the rest of the 5 countries. We are RCEP. This asset, how can we explore this asset? That's why the government will come in, the MITI will come in, and then the ministry will come in and assist how this SME, you should not only concentrate on Malaysia, 32 million, or you should go out for 600 over millions of this Southeast Asia. Moreover, with the recent Prime Minister visit to China, and then the Saudi Arabia, that means the Middle East, and then the Far East, how we tap their market, in order for us to expand our businesses. That is the way we should do as a 4M, the way forward. The way forward is, to me, is a bilateral. It's not one-way ticket from the government point of view or from the SME point of view. Have to both way forward in order to explore and then improve our businesses.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I totally agree with that. And I would like to take some keywords you mentioned about the money. The first M is actually, if you got money, how much money do you get if you not manage it properly?
Yes.
There's no point of getting.
You become down to zero or become debt.
Yes, because you're not really planning on how to increase revenue, get the economies of scales, for example, to increase the profitability with the less resources, manage your money well. I think that financial literacy needs to come in, and SMEs to really look at how best they can manage their money. I think for the small and medium business where they have this accountant, and when it's applied to the small, very small, micro businesses, they have to do on their own.
Yes.
Right. So I think maybe Dr. Zaliatul also can give some thought on the financial literacy and financial management ability. But before that, on the remaining M's, for example, the machinery and also the marketing. it also comes with knowledge where they have to seek knowledge on how to leverage on the machinery. They should be able, and they should also have knowledge on how to market the product well and whatnot, so that they can increase their revenue. So that is actually very interesting for M. Dato'. Then I move to Dr. Saliatul when Dato' mentioned about the financial management and financial literacy. But if you want to get that views, and also and what else can employees, the entrepreneurs do, to become more sustainable?
Okay. In my point of view, actually, like you said, the financial management is very important because of some of the businesses probably initially we start with a very small capital, and then sometimes we are juggling the business money and also our own money. But as the time, as the process goes by, so basically it's very important to actually have this knowledge and education regarding how to manage our financial. So it's very important. I think, to me, it's very good if you can get like some consultation from a certain body that might help in give guidelines or guidance on how actually we can manage our financial to be sustained. So basically, it's like I say, it's not easy with the juggling here and there, but yeah, frankly, it's very, very important. So I believe that most of the SMEs actually are looking for someone or somebody to actually help them in guiding them to manage it.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I think we are coming to the end of the discussion, and it's very interesting to note some of the key takeaways to answer the question of this episode, the insights, the small business challenges, and what can we do more. Like Dato' mentioned, you have a list down of a way forward, and what government and also the individual, the entrepreneurs should do and whatnot. So thank you very much again, Dato' Kung, and also Dr. Saliatul, for joining us to the insights, and also thank you very much for watching, and until we meet again in the next episode, Assalamualaikum and bye-bye.
Let's go.